If you're new to Grounded, there's a really good chance you're making at least one of these mistakes right now, and honestly, some of them can make the early game way harder than it needs to be. Grounded doesn't explain some of its most important systems very well, so today I'm going to go through 5 beginner mistakes that are slowing your progression down, wasting your resources, or just straight up getting you killed. And yes, spiders are involved. So without further ado, my name is Zinky Dink, and here are 5 beginner mistakes in Grounded that are wasting your time. Mistake number 1 is fighting spiders too early. One of the biggest mistakes new players make is trying to brute force spiders early game, especially wolf spiders. Unfortunately, early game wolf spiders are basically environmental hazards. If you try fighting them with weak gear and no preparation, you're probably going to burn through all your healing items, spend half your time running back for your backpack, and achieve absolutely nothing except for emotional damage. Early game Grounded is more about preparation than ego challenging the biggest thing you've seen. Avoid them early, learn their routes and get stronger first, and then trust me, when you get that kill, you'll feel way better. Mistake number 2 is ignoring the resource scanner. The resource scanner is one of the most useful tools in the entire game, and a lot of beginners barely use it. Instead, they spend hours wandering around randomly looking for materials, and I was guilty of this too. If you need stink bug parts, you're running around blindly. You need clay, same thing. Meanwhile, the scanner can literally point you toward what you actually need. Using the scanner properly saves an insane amount of time because it stops the whole "I've been running around in circles for 20 minutes" experience. Once you unlock it, start using it as soon as possible. Before you leave your base, decide, what am I actually looking for? Then scan for it. Your progression becomes way smoother immediately. Mistake number 3 is ignoring milk molars or never going on a tooth hunt. This is a huge one. A lot of beginners completely ignore milk molars, or they just collect them randomly whenever they happen to stumble across one. But honestly, you should be actively going on molar hunts. Milk molars give permanent upgrades that massively improve your character. More health, more stamina, better healing, and even extra mutation slots. These upgrades add up fast. I was wandering around for ages with barely any molars collected, and the difference once you actually start hunting them properly is massive. You become tankier, fights feel much easier, and your overall survivability jumps massively. So once you're comfortable exploring a bit more, start actively searching for them, because these are some of the strongest upgrades in the entire game. Mistake number 4 is wasting upgrade materials. Another really common beginner mistake is upgrading everything evenly. People get materials and think, well, I'll just upgrade all my gear a little bit. Don't. Early game upgrade materials are way more valuable than they seem. You want to focus your upgrades on tools and weapons that you're actually using. If you spread your materials too thin, then you end up with lots of mediocre gear and nothing that feels properly strong. For example, improving your main weapon or survival tools first usually gives way more value than randomly upgrading backpack gear that you barely touch. Grounded rewards focused progression much more than balanced progression in the early game. Mistake number 5 is ignoring mutation loadouts. This is probably one of the most important systems in the game. A lot of beginners either ignore mutations completely or just equip random ones and forget about them. But mutations in Grounded are essentially builds, and once you start making different loadouts for different situations, the game becomes significantly easier. For example, I've got one set up for roaming around, looting and farming materials with things like Rascal Rogue for extra parts, and then I've got separate setups for bosses that I then tweak depending on who I'm going to be fighting. That flexibility is huge. If you ignore mutations, you're basically playing without one of the strongest systems in the game, and Grounded gets noticeably easier once you start building around what you're actually doing. So there you have it. There are 5 beginner mistakes that can seriously slow down your progress in Grounded. If you've got any mistakes that you made early game, let me know in the comments, because honestly, everybody has at least one traumatic spider story. And if this helped you out, please drop a like and subscribe for more Grounded content, tips, boss fights and survival chaos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.